Right, hello, I'm Ollie, and I'm here with,
I'm Noah.
And I'm Jack Oliver.
and welcome to the GoonsCast. This is the third and final episode. Today we'll be talking about representation of black characters in the media.
So we thought it'd be a good idea to start with looking into the Star Wars franchise.
Yes. So the Star Wars franchise has been going on for around 40 to 50 years. With 11 canon films, it has only had 7 named black characters throughout its time.
We did originally, when we did our counting, think there was 8, and then we realised we counted the same character twice, once when they were younger and once when they were older.
How do we compare Star Wars to other media? Like, how are black people represented differently?
Firstly, when you see how they're represented in Star Wars.
So, the first one was like in the 40s, wasn't it? Was it the
No,
60s?
I think it's 60s, 70s.
It was like that, but back then in the original trilogy, there's only one named black character, Lando Calrissian. That's it. There were actors who played them, but not the characters.
77.
77.
Yeah.
So back then, only one character. Then we got the prequels, and we got 3, which shows a bit of growth. And then the sequels came out, and we also had 3. No growth in between the prequels
Yeah.
and now, which is quite bad. Granted, there is more canon stuff involved in Star Wars
Yeah.
other than the films, but we're not delving into that at the moment. And then the stories, we've got a collection of 3.
So the different black characters, a lot of them haven't been given massive roles. Obviously, you had Lando
Yeah,
and
Lando.
Finn.
Finn was quite a big role.
I think they were the only two like main characters.
Or like, the good thing about the sequels, Finn, he was displayed in the first trailer as the main protagonist.
Oh,
Granted,
hang on, I forgot about Samuel Jackson.
oh yeah,
I feel bad now.
granted, but yeah, it shows it. Like, Finn, he was in the trailer the most for Force Awakens
Yeah, I
with
think he
Rey.
was in.
He was the
Yeah.
him and Ray were the leads.
Yeah.
So that is quite good. Granted, in was it China they propped him out of the poster.
Yeah, that was a bold move.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening in this day. It was 2015. That shouldn't happen.
I believe that
Yeah.
was 5 or 6 years after the Equality Acts
Yeah.
put here in the UK.
What were they?
I think it was only around a decade ago a Equality Act was put in that was made it basically kind of in a sense illegal to see or to act on anything that makes people kind of not equal. So like in workplaces only picking people because of of who they are.
Yeah, their race.
That's
Their
sort of
race,
like
gender.
it goes into how like with like superhero films, let's say they drive a lot from their source material of the comics. With that, now you see like them branching off, and you're getting like other characters like Miles Morales as
Yeah, I was
Spider-Man.
about to bring that up.
He was like no one ever like thinks about him, and they never used to. But now he's got a new game. It's got Into the Spider-Verse.
I was gonna say that because before Into the Spider-Verse, I knew like nothing about Miles Morales as a character.
See, like,
I knew that he was in Spider-Man, but I didn't really know who he was.
and like now we're learning he's even better than Peter Parker's Spider-Man. That's
Venom
even better.
powers.
Yeah, venom powers, invisibility.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
You said like 6 times. High five. That was unlikely.
Cut that out.
But yeah, like it just shows like progression over time, and like this is not really about race, but like they're gender flipping some roles. You know what I mean? Like, I mean
Yeah,
how
in Star Wars, Rey.
see a TV show I quite like to watch. I think Jack's watched a bit of it. It's The Flash. They have been flipping a lot of the villains now.
Really?
So that means like a white male villain, it can now sometimes be a black female or black male, or just a white
Okay.
female.
Mm.
Like they're switching it out now.
With things like this, though, you also need to take into account if they're doing it only for the male gaze.
That's
Male gaze
true.
theory being the theory that attracting in a male audience
Yeah.
by sexualising females. And that's something that you always need to keep in mind with things like this. Sure, is it that them trying to have a more equal sort of pathway, or is it them trying to be...
I feel
Don't
like
think
it's
so.
more of them just trying to be like, yeah, women can play these roles too. Like, pantomimes. They flip the main character normally.
Yeah. That's
You go
right.
to see
Yeah.
Jack and the Beanstalk over at Fernham Hall. Normally, it's a woman playing Jack. How could we change?
7
How would
minutes.
you change it
Let's go
as
for
a
it.
film like director? You're the casting.
I personally would have.
It's a small details that make a difference. So just casting more kind of black named characters to be in like the background and all of that. Maybe add like another main character, just so everything kind of
Yeah,
comes to an
'cause-
equal stance.
A big thing with the
Not
background
letting-
characters in Star Wars is that they're all aliens. So if you look at like the Cantina,
Yeah,
for example, there's not really many
and a lot of them
humans
don't
in
get
there.
names. We always have the classic cliche. They die
Black man
first.
dies first. Yeah.
And over time, we have seen it starting to change. I feel like that cliche is just like it should start. It should just go by now. It's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Mm.
Everyone predicts it.
Can't comment on that one because I hate horror films. They scare me.
Noah, do you have something to add?
Yeah, there's a film called The Babysitter.
I have seen
Do
both
you-
of them
do
on
you know
Netflix.
King Batch.
Yes, he's
I
in
can't
it.
remember if he was the first to die or not.
He was actually.
Was he?
Unless you count the police officers, he is the first out of all the
Yeah.
antagonists to be murdered. I've been Ollie Likely. This has been,
Noah.
I'm Jack.
and this has been the GoonsCast. We won't see you next time, actually. Goodbye.